The massive ship called Stellar Seeker slowed as it approached the blue planet. It was the year 2157, and the Galactic Coalition had just discovered yet another world with life. But this one was different. This one had technology, cities, and radio signals. On the bridge of the ship, Zaxvor stared at the view screen with all four of his eyes. His gray skin wrinkled around his mouth as he spoke. Fascinating. A Class 3 civilization on a Class 8 death world. How have they survived? His assistant Milar checked the readings again. The gravity is 1.2 times Coalition standard. Radiation levels are concerning, and the atmospheric makeup would be toxic to most Council races. And yet they thrive, Zaxvor said. Prepare the first contact protocols. I want to meet these humans. The message from the strange ship arrived at Earth's United Defense Headquarters 3 hours later. Within days, a meeting was arranged. The Coalition would send representatives to a space station orbiting Earth to meet with human leaders. Dr. Alan Foster paced in his lab, muttering to himself. As Earth's leading xenobiologist, he would be one of the first to meet the aliens. After years of wondering if humans were alone in the universe, he would finally have his answer. Alan, will you please sit down? You're making me nervous, said Captain Samantha Wells. Her military uniform was crisp and perfect, her black hair pulled back in a tight bun. Sorry, Sam, it's just aliens. Real aliens. Alan pushed his glasses up on his nose. Do you realize what this means for science? For humanity? I'm more concerned about what it means for security, she replied. That's why I'm here. To make sure these visitors don't have bad intentions. Ambassador Gregory Patel entered the room carrying a tablet. The shuttle leaves in 30 minutes. Are you both prepared? They nodded, and Gregory continued. Remember, we represent all of humanity today. First impressions matter. The human delegation arrived at the space station first. It was a neutral location, newly built for this meeting. They waited in a large room with a round table, nervous energy filling the air. When the door finally opened, the humans got their first look at alien life. Zaxvor led the group. He stood on 2 legs like a human, but was shorter and thinner. His gray skin had a slight shimmer, and 4 eyes blinked independently on his face. Behind him came aliens of different shapes and colors, some with tentacles, others with scales, one that seemed to float slightly above the ground. Ambassador Patel stepped forward. On behalf of Earth and all humanity, welcome. We are honored to meet you. Zaxvor made a gesture with his 3-fingered hand. The Galactic Coalition greets Earth. I am Chief Xenobiologist Zaxvor. We have many questions about your world and species. The meeting lasted for hours. Both sides shared basic information about their civilizations, careful not to reveal too much. The aliens seemed especially interested in Earth itself. You evolved on this planet? Asked Tlax, a blue-skinned alien with gill-like slits on her. Senek. With these conditions? Yes, Alan replied. Earth is the only home we've ever known. Remarkable, Zaxvor said. Most sentient species in the Coalition evolved on worlds with similar conditions. Lower gravity, minimal radiation, stable climate. Yet you developed on a planet that would kill most of us within days. The humans exchanged glances. They had never considered Earth especially dangerous. After the initial meeting, the Coalition requested permission to conduct medical scans of human volunteers. Alan immediately offered himself. It's perfectly safe, Zaxvor assured him as Alan lay on a floating platform. We are simply curious about your biology. The scan took only minutes, but when it was complete, the aliens huddled together, talking quickly in their own language. Their movements seemed agitated. Is everything okay? Alan asked, sitting up. Zaxvor approached him slowly. Dr. Foster, according to our scans, you should not be alive. Excuse me? Your body contains trace elements that are highly toxic to most life forms. Your bones are surprisingly dense. Your cellular repair mechanisms are unusual. And your brain activity suggests you can function with minimal sleep for extended periods. That's just normal human biology, Alan said, confused. Later that day, The human delegation met privately on their shuttle. "They're acting strange," Samantha said. "The way they look at us now, it's almost like they're afraid." Gregory nodded. "I noticed that too. When I mentioned our space exploration plans, they seemed concerned." "It's our biology," Alan explained. "They evolved on worlds very different from Earth. What's normal for us is extreme for them." The next morning, HFY requested a private meeting with Ambassador Patel. His 4 eyes blinked nervously as he spoke. "We would like to conduct more thorough studies of human physiology," he said, "with more volunteers if possible." "May I ask why?" Gregory asked. "Your species presents certain scientific impossibilities. You consume substances that would kill most sentient beings. Your radiation tolerance is off our charts, and your physical endurance suggests regenerative capabilities we've never seen." "These are just normal human traits," Gregory said. "Not from a galactic perspective," HFY replied. "Most coalition species evolved in protected environments. Mild gravity, minimal radiation, few predators. Humans evolved on what we would classify as a death world and not only survived but thrived." Gregory considered this information. "And this concerns you?" "It raises questions," HFY admitted. "Humanity could survive conditions that would kill most coalition members. This has implications." As Gregory left the meeting, he found Alan and Samantha waiting for him. "What did they want?" Samantha asked. "More tests. They're fascinated by us." Gregory paused. "Or scared of us. I'm not sure which." Alan's eyes lit up with excitement. "Don't you see? We've always wondered if we're special in the universe. Turns out we are, just not how we expected. It's not our intelligence or technology that makes us unique. It's our bodies." Samantha frowned. "If they see us as physically superior, they might view us as a threat. Or as valuable allies," Gregory said. "I've approved their request for volunteers. We need to learn more about them too." As the human delegation returned to Earth to report and recruit volunteers, HFY sent his own message to the Coalition High Command. "First contact established with species human from planet Earth," he reported. "Request immediate research priority. These beings defy conventional biology. They are stronger than they appear, heal rapidly, and can withstand conditions fatal to most coalition species. Preliminary assessment suggests they could become either our greatest allies or a significant concern to galactic security. Further, study essential." The message traveled across space as Earth prepared for its new role in the galaxy. Humanity's journey among the stars was just beginning, and their ordinary biology would prove extraordinary in ways they had never imagined. 2 weeks after first contact, the studies began. The Stellar Seeker remained in Earth orbit, and a special research facility was set up in what was once an international space station. 20 human volunteers arrived, ready to help the aliens understand human biology. Dr. Lisa Murphy supervised the human side of the research. She was a medical doctor with gray-streaked brown hair and calm eyes that missed nothing. Her job was to ensure the aliens treated the volunteers properly. "Remember," she told the volunteers during orientation, "you can stop any test at any time. Your safety comes first." Kevin Martinez, a former soldier with dark hair and an easy smile, raised his hand. "Doc, do these aliens really think we're superhumans or something?" Lisa smiled. "Not exactly. They just evolved differently than we did. What's normal for us seems strange to them." HFY and his team designed a series of tests to document human capabilities. They started simple, with blood tests and tissue samples. But even these basic tests produced surprising results. "Fascinating," said Tilax, the blue-skinned medical officer, as she examined a blood sample. "Human blood cells can function with oxygen levels that would cause brain death in most coalition species." HFY nodded. "And their digestive systems can process substances that would be lethal to us. Look at this list of what they consume daily." He displayed a screen showing common human foods and drinks. Several alien researchers made sounds of alarm. "They willingly consume caffeine and alcohol?" one asked. "Those are powerful toxins. And capsaicin," added another, pointing to peppers on the list. That's a defense chemical designed to cause pain. Yet they consume it for pleasure, HFY said. Their nervous systems can handle pain signals in ways ours cannot. The tests continued. Physical endurance trials showed that humans could function with less sleep than most coalition species. Strength tests revealed that while humans weren't the strongest beings in the galaxy, they could temporarily exceed their normal abilities in emergencies, a feat most aliens found impossible. One day, during a test of human reflexes, Kevin Martinez slipped and cut his arm on a piece of equipment. The wound wasn't serious, but the alien's reaction surprised everyone. Tlax rushed over, her face showing concern. "We must get him to medical immediately. Such tissue damage, it's just a cut," Kevin said, looking confused. "I've had worse. Shaving." Dr. Murphy examined the wound. "He'll need a few stitches, but he's fine." The aliens watched in amazement as Kevin walked to the medical bay, making jokes despite his injury. "He should be in severe pain," Tlax whispered to HFY. "How is he still functioning?" 3 days later, when Kevin returned to the research facility with his wound already healing well, the aliens were even more amazed. "Your cellular regeneration rate is remarkable," HFY told him. "For most species, such a wound would take weeks to heal." "Just lucky, I guess," Kevin shrugged. But it wasn't luck. As the studies continued, the aliens documented more unusual human traits. Humans could survive in a wider range of temperatures than most species, continue functioning despite injuries that would incapacitate others, repair damaged tissues at rates the aliens considered regenerative, adapt to different environments, with minimal technological assistance. "It's their planet," Tlax explained during a research meeting. "Earth has higher gravity, more radiation, extreme weather, and thousands of predators. Humans evolved to survive all of this." "And their wars," added another researcher. "Their history is full of conflict, which accelerated their development of medicine and their body's ability to survive trauma." HFY looked troubled. "Such adaptability makes them uniquely suited for space exploration and colonization. They can survive conditions that would kill most coalition members." While the aliens conducted their research, Dr. Murphy and her team were doing studies of their own. They discovered that most coalition species had evolved on planets with stable conditions. Few predators, mild weather, low gravity, and minimal radiation. Their bodies never needed to develop the resilience that Earth demanded of humans. One evening, after the day's tests were complete, Lisa sat with Tlax in the station's observation room, looking down at Earth. "Your planet is beautiful," Tlax said. "But terrifying." Lisa smiled. "We've never thought of it that way. Your oceans cover most of the surface, yet few humans can breathe water. Your temperature ranges from freezing to boiling. Your gravity would crush many species. Even your sun damages your skin with radiation. How did you survive long enough to develop civilization?" "We adapted," Lisa said simply. "That's what humans do." Tlax was quiet for a moment. "There's something you should know. Not all coalition members see human adaptability as a positive trait." Lisa frowned. "What do you mean?" "Some see potential danger. A species that can survive where others cannot could expand rapidly. Your people could settle on worlds that would kill most coalition beings. We have no desire to threaten anyone," Lisa assured her. "I believe you, but others may need convincing." The next day, Kevin Martinez was demonstrating human strength recovery. After lifting weights to the point of exhaustion, the aliens measured how quickly he could regain his strength. Most species would need days to recover from such exertion. HFY noted as Kevin's strength returned after just a few hours. "It's just how our muscles work," Kevin said. "Nothing special." But the aliens didn't agree. That night, HFY sent a classified report to Coalition High Command. The report detailed human biological capabilities and included a section labeled Military Implications. The report concluded, "Humans possess biological adaptations that allow them to withstand conditions fatal to most coalition species. They can survive in harsh environments, recover quickly from injuries, and function despite pain or fatigue." While their technology lags behind coalition standards, their physical resilience makes them a biological anomaly with significant implications for galactic security. Recommendation: expanded research and careful monitoring of human expansion capabilities. 3 days later, a new ship arrived in Earth orbit. Larger than the Stellar Seeker, its design was clearly military. The word Dominion was painted on its hull in both coalition and human languages. Dr. Murphy was in her office when she received an urgent message from Ambassador Patel. "The coalition has sent a military vessel," Gregory's message said. "They're requesting a meeting with Earth's defense leaders. They say it's about the research findings." Lisa looked out her window at the massive ship now visible in orbit. She remembered Tilax's warning about how some might view human adaptability. What had seemed like simple biology to humans had apparently triggered concern among the stars. On board the Dominion, Admiral Krell-Zar reviewed the research data with a stern expression. "So these humans are as resilient as the reports suggest?" His aide nodded. "Yes, Admiral, and they're eager to join the galactic community. They've already begun planning expanded space exploration." Krell-Zar's 6 eyes narrowed. "Then we must determine if they're allies to be welcomed or a threat to be contained." The arrival of the Dominion created tension on Earth. News reports showed the large military vessel hanging in orbit like a silent warning. Government leaders met in emergency sessions. Military forces went on high alert. Admiral Krell-Zar was tall and imposing. His skin was dark purple with ridge-like patterns across his face. Unlike Zax Vor, who dressed in simple scientific clothing, Krell-Zar wore an ornate uniform with symbols of rank and battle honors. The meeting took place at the United Earth Defense Headquarters. Humans sat on one side of a large table, aliens on the other. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of translation devices. "The Coalition Council has concerns about your species," Admiral Krell-Zar began, his voice deep and formal. "Our scientists have documented biological abilities that are unusual." General Frank Lawson, head of Earth's military, leaned forward. "Admiral, we've cooperated fully with your scientific team. If there's a problem, we'd like to know what it is." "The problem, General, is that your species can survive conditions that would kill most coalition members. You heal remarkably fast. You can endure extreme environments. Your young developed to maturity in less than 2 decades. These traits allowed you to spread across your planet quickly, and they could allow you to spread across the galaxy just as fast." Nicole Taylor, Earth's chief diplomat for the alien meetings, spoke up. "Are you suggesting that our biology makes us a threat?" "It makes you a potential threat," Krell-Zar said. "The Coalition maintains peace by ensuring balance between member species. A species that can settle on worlds others cannot, that can recover quickly from conflict, that can adapt to new conditions. Such a species could disturb that balance." Nicole was a skilled diplomat with 20 years of experience. She knew when someone was not saying everything they were thinking. "Admiral," she said carefully, "it seems there's more to your concerns than just our biology." Krell-Zar was silent for a moment, then he nodded. "There is a faction within the Coalition that believes species from high-gravity, high-radiation planets like Earth tend toward aggressive expansion. Your own history shows constant conflict and territorial disputes. Our history also shows cooperation, peace agreements, and shared prosperity," Nicole countered. "We've united our planet and ended most conflicts." "So you claim," Krell-Zar said. "To address these concerns, we propose a series of demonstrations, tests to show how humans respond to various situations." The talks continued for hours. Eventually, Earth's leaders agreed to Krell-Zar's proposal. A series of tests would be conducted to demonstrate human capabilities more fully. Over the next week, humans participated in demonstrations designed by the Coalition military. They showed their strength, endurance, problem-solving abilities, and biological responses to various conditions. In one test, volunteers were asked to run until exhausted, then solve complex problems. The aliens were surprised when humans could still think clearly despite physical fatigue. In another test, volunteers demonstrated how humans could temporarily exceed their normal strength in emergency situations. They called it the mother lifting, a car off her child phenomenon. Coalition scientists measured stress hormones, muscle responses, and neural activity during these demonstrations. They seemed particularly interested in how humans responded to pressure and threats. Eric Johnson was a military analyst assigned to observe the tests. He had short blonde hair and sharp eyes that noticed details others missed. During one demonstration, he saw alien officers using small devices to record data. The devices weren't part of the agreed-upon test procedures. That night, Eric accessed the security logs for the testing area. He discovered that Coalition officers had been running their own tests after hours, combat simulations featuring humans. Eric took his findings to Nicole Taylor. "They're treating us like we're a potential enemy," he said, showing her the evidence. "These simulations test how their weapons would work against humans, how we might fight in different environments." Nicole frowned. "We need to be careful how we respond. If we act hostile, we'll only confirm their fears about aggressive human nature." The next day, during a break in testing, Nicole approached Admiral Krelzar privately. "Admiral, we know about the combat simulations," she said directly. "That wasn't part of our agreement." Krelzar's expression didn't change. "A wise species prepares for all possibilities, including war with Earth, including the reality that your biology makes you unlike other species we've encountered. You call Earth normal. We call it extreme. You evolved in conditions that would kill most Coalition beings. That shaped your bodies and perhaps your instincts as well." Nicole kept her voice calm. "You fear us because we're different. I respect you because you're different," Krelzar corrected. "But respect and caution often go together." Their conversation was interrupted by a commotion in the hallway. Eric Johnson rushed in holding a data tablet. "Ma'am, we've intercepted communications from the Dominion," he said urgently. "Some Coalition factions are arguing for containment protocols." "Containment?" Nicole asked, looking at Krelzar. The Admiral's face darkened. "It wasn't my recommendation." "What does containment mean?" Eric demanded. "Limiting a species to their home system," Krelzar explained. "Restricting technology transfer, monitoring all activities. It's a measure used for species deemed potentially disruptive to galactic stability." "You want to quarantine humanity?" Nicole asked, her voice rising. "I don't," Krelzar said firmly. "But there are those who see your biological resilience as a reason for concern." Later that day, word of the containment proposal leaked to Earth's media. People around the world reacted with alarm and anger. Protests formed outside government buildings, military bases went on higher alert. On the research station, Dr. Lisa Murphy confronted Talax about the situation. "Did you know about this?" she demanded. "Were the medical tests just to determine if we were a threat?" The blue-skinned alien looked genuinely distressed. "Not to me. I found your biology fascinating, not frightening, but others see your adaptability differently." "As something to fear?" "As something unprecedented," Talax clarified. "Most Coalition species evolved in similar environments. Then we meet humans, who developed intelligence on a world that would kill most of us, whose bodies can withstand radiation and gravity and toxins that would destroy us. Some fear what that means for the future." Lisa shook her head. "We just want to join the galactic community, not conquer it." "I believe you," Tilak said. "But belief isn't proof. The containment faction wants evidence that humans won't use their biological advantages to expand rapidly at others' expense." As tension grew between Earth and the Coalition, leaders on both sides worked to prevent the situation from worsening. Ambassador Gregory Patel sent an urgent message to the Coalition Council, requesting direct talks. "We are not a threat to you," he wrote. "Our biology is different because our world is different. That doesn't make us dangerous, it makes us unique. We ask for understanding, not fear." Aboard the Dominion, Admiral Krelzar received new orders. The containment proposal would be put to a vote in 3 days. Before then, he was to complete his assessment of the human species. Krelzar looked out at the blue planet below. He had seen humans demonstrate remarkable physical and mental abilities, but he had also seen their capacity for diplomacy, their desire for peaceful contact. The question remained, was humanity's unusual biology a threat to galactic peace, or a valuable, new addition to the cosmic community? The answer would determine Earth's future among the stars. The International Space Station had been expanded over the years to become humanity's gateway to the stars. Now it served as the main research facility for human-alien cooperation. Scientists from Earth worked alongside coalition researchers, studying biology and technology from both civilizations. Olivia Green served as head of security for the station. She had bright red hair cut short and moved with the confidence of someone who had trained for emergencies all her life. Today she felt uneasy. The news about possible containment of Earth had everyone on edge. "Security scan complete," reported her assistant. "All sections normal." Olivia nodded, but the feeling of worry remained. She decided to make a personal inspection of the lower research labs. In Lab 7, she found Vrilka, a thin alien with pale, yellow skin, working alone. Vrilka was a biologist who had become fascinated with human cellular structure. "Working late?" Olivia asked. Vrilka jumped slightly. "Yes, I'm comparing human and coalition healing processes. Your cells repair themselves in ways ours don't. Is that good or bad?" "It's different," Vrilka said. "Not better or worse, just adapted to different conditions." Suddenly, the lights flickered. A moment later, a soft alarm began to sound. Olivia's radio crackled. "Security alert. Unauthorized access to power systems in Section 12. "I'm close to that section," Olivia responded. "Moving to investigate." She turned to Vrilka. "Stay here and lock the door." Olivia moved quickly through the station corridors, her hand on her stun baton. As she approached Section 12, she saw movement ahead. 3 figures in environmental suits were working on an access panel. They weren't wearing station identification badges. "Stop! Security!" she called out. The figures turned quickly. One raised something that looked like a weapon. Olivia ducked as energy sparked above her head. She rolled behind a support column and called for backup. "Intruders in Section 12, armed and hostile." One of the intruders spoke in a coalition language her translator picked up. "Hurry, we must complete the mission before they send more security." Mission? Olivia realized these weren't random troublemakers. This was planned sabotage. She peeked around the column and aimed her stun baton. The electrical discharge hit one intruder, who collapsed to the floor. The others fired back, forcing her to take cover again. Throughout the station, alarms now blared. The intruders seemed to panic. One of them pressed something on the access panel. Then both remaining saboteurs ran toward the docking bay. Olivia's radio crackled again. "All personnel. Life support systems compromised in Sections 10 through 14. Emergency protocols initiated." She felt the air pressure changing. The saboteurs had damaged the environmental controls. Parts of the station were losing air. Backup security arrived, and Olivia quickly explained the situation. 2 intruders heading for the docking bay, 1 unconscious here, and we're losing atmosphere. "Emergency teams are responding to the life support failure," her colleague said. "You should evacuate to a safe section." "There are people in the labs," Olivia replied. "I need to make sure they get out." She rushed back toward the research area, passing crew members hurrying in the opposite direction. Warning lights flashed and automatic doors were closing to seal off the affected sections. When she reached Lab 7, she found Vrilka still there, gathering research materials. "We need to evacuate now," Olivia urged. "This section is losing air." "But my research—" "Leave it." As they hurried toward the exit, a loud boom echoed through the station. The floor shook beneath them. Olivia's radio came to life with urgent voices. "Explosive decompression in Section 13. Multiple injuries reported." Vrilka looked terrified. "For my species, even brief exposure to vacuum is fatal." "Stay close to me," Olivia said. They continued toward the safe zone, but another explosion rocked the station. A wall panel blew outward, and suddenly the air was rushing past them toward the breach. Olivia grabbed a support beam with one hand and Vrilka with the other. The alien's eyes widened in panic as the air thinned. "Can't Breathe. Olivia knew she had only seconds before Vrilka would lose consciousness. She looked around desperately and spotted an emergency air mask on the wall nearby. With all her strength, she pulled herself and Vrilka toward it, fighting against the rush of escaping air. Her lungs burned. Darkness crept into the edges of her vision, but her body kept fighting, kept moving. She reached the mask and pressed it to Vrilka's face, then hit the emergency oxygen release. The alien took a desperate breath. Olivia's own vision was getting darker. She knew humans could survive about 15 seconds of vacuum exposure. How many seconds had passed? Her body felt cold, her skin stretching as the moisture on it began to boil in the low pressure. Just as she was about to pass out, emergency doors slammed shut, stopping the air loss. Automated systems began restoring pressure and oxygen to the section. Olivia gasped as air filled her lungs again. How? Vrilka stared at her with amazement. How are you conscious? You had no air for at least 12 seconds. Human biology, Olivia managed to say between painful breaths. We can handle brief vacuum exposure. Soon, medical teams arrived. Dr. Lisa Murphy was among them, treating injured crew members. The saboteurs targeted life support systems, Lisa explained as she checked Olivia's vital signs. They knew it would affect coalition members more severely than humans. Who were they? Olivia asked. A radical faction called the Purity Order. They believe cross-species cooperation dilutes cultural identity. They particularly oppose contact with extreme world species like humans. On the command deck, Admiral Krelzar had arrived to deal with the crisis. He looked genuinely angry as he questioned the captured saboteur. You have violated every principle the Coalition stands for, he said. Attacking a research station, endangering lives, you dishonor us all. We did what was necessary, the saboteur replied. Humans are too dangerous to join the galactic community. Their biology makes them superior in too many ways. Ambassador Gregory Patel stood nearby, his face showing both concern and resolve. Superior? Is that what this is about? During the crisis, Human Security Officer Olivia Green survived vacuum exposure to save a coalition scientist, Krelzar informed him. Your people demonstrated remarkable resilience under extreme conditions. We did what anyone would do, Gregory said. We protected lives, both human and alien. The emergency lasted 6 hours. By the end, the station was secure again, and all the saboteurs had been captured. 17 people were injured, but thanks to quick action by both human and alien crew members, no lives were lost. In the aftermath, Admiral Krelzar called an emergency meeting with the Coalition Council. For 3 hours, they debated Earth's status. The containment faction argued that the incident proved humans were too resilient to be allowed free access to the galaxy. Others pointed out that humans had used their biological advantages to save Coalition lives, not harm them. On Earth, leaders waited anxiously for the Council's decision. Would humanity be welcomed among the stars or confined to their home system? Finally, Krelzar contacted Ambassador Patel. The Council has reached a decision, he said, his face unreadable on the video screen. I have been instructed to inform you that... He paused, then continued. Earth will not be contained. The actions of your people during the crisis demonstrated that your biological resilience can benefit the Coalition, not threaten it. Relief swept through the room. Gregory allowed himself a small smile. Thank you, Admiral. What happens now? Now, we continue to learn from each other, Krelzar said. The Council has authorized full scientific and cultural exchange, and they have asked me to tell you something important, something we should have shared earlier. What's that? You are not the first extreme world species we've encountered, but you are the first to develop both high technology and peaceful cooperation. Most others destroyed themselves through war. That is why some feared you. Not because you are different, but because similar species have failed to control their aggressive instincts. Gregory nodded slowly. We've come close to self-destruction ourselves, but we've learned from our mistakes. Perhaps that is your greatest strength, Krelzar said. Not your biological resilience, but your ability to change and grow as a species. As the news spread across Earth, celebrations began. Humanity would join the galactic community after all, and their unique biology, shaped by Earth's challenging conditions, would be seen as an asset rather than a threat. 6 months had passed since the space station crisis. Earth now had official status as a special member of the Galactic Coalition. Ships from various alien worlds visited regularly, and human representatives had begun traveling to Coalition planets. Dr. Paul Wilson led the human scientific delegation to the Coalition homeworlds. He was tall, with dark skin and a quick mind that could grasp new concepts easily. Today, he stood on the surface of Zentrix, the Coalition's central planet, looking up at a sky that was more purple than blue. "I can't believe I'm really here," he said to his alien guide, Giral. "It's beautiful, and you are doing well in our gravity," Giral observed. "Most visitors from standard worlds require assistance devices." Paul smiled. "Earth's gravity is stronger than here. For us, it feels like we're lighter, almost bouncy." "Another example of your biological adaptability," Giral noted. "The very thing that once concerned us now seems advantageous." The Coalition had established a special research center where humans and aliens could study each other's biology, medicine, and technology. It was called the Exchange Institute, and scientists from 27 species worked there. In one laboratory, human doctors worked with Coalition medical experts to study human healing abilities. Earth's medical techniques, developed to treat injuries and diseases on a harsh planet, were proving valuable to Coalition species. "Human blood clotting mechanisms are remarkably efficient," a Coalition doctor explained during a presentation. "By adapting this process for our physiology, we've developed treatments that reduce healing time by 40%. Paul attended many such presentations. He learned that human biological traits were helping Coalition medicine advance in unexpected ways. Human pain management techniques helped species with more sensitive nervous systems. Earth's immunization methods provided new approaches to Coalition disease prevention. The human digestive system's ability to handle toxins inspired new detoxification treatments. But the exchange went both ways. Humans learned about alien medical technologies far beyond Earth's current abilities. Non-invasive surgical techniques that didn't damage surrounding tissues, cellular regeneration methods that could heal damaged organs, brain-machine interfaces, more advanced than anything on Earth one afternoon. Paul met with Dr. Lisa Murphy, who had also come to Zentrix for a medical conference. "It's amazing how quickly things have changed," Lisa said as they walked through the Exchange Institute's garden. 6 months ago they were afraid of us. Now they're adapting our biology to help their people. Paul nodded. "And we're learning just as much from them. Earth's hospitals are already using Coalition medical scanners. They're saving lives every day." "It turns out our dangerous biology was exactly what the galaxy needed," Lisa said with a smile. The military relationship between Earth and the Coalition had also evolved. After seeing how humans performed during the station crisis, Admiral Krelzar had proposed a joint security force. The first mixed human-alien military unit was formed 3 months after Earth joined the Coalition. They called themselves the Adaptive Response Team, specializing in rescues and operations in extreme environments. Captain Ben Harper led the human side of the team. He had worked with Admiral Krelzar to develop training methods that utilized each species' strengths. Humans handled high-gravity or high-radiation environments. Coalition members performed tasks requiring delicate manipulation or specialized senses. "We're not trying to make each species do everything," Ben explained to a group of new recruits. "We're creating a team where each member contributes their natural abilities. Together, we can operate in environments that would be impossible for any single species." The team had already conducted 3 major rescue operations: evacuating a research outpost on a high-radiation moon, where Coalition species couldn't safely go, rescuing miners trapped in a heavy-gravity mining colony where most alien species would be crushed, delivering critical medicines to a planet with a toxic atmosphere that humans could briefly tolerate. With each successful mission, the partnership between humans and the Coalition grew stronger. What had started as fear of human biology had transformed into respect for what different species could accomplish together. In the diplomatic realm, Nicole Taylor continued her work-building relationships with Coalition representatives. She now served as Earth's ambassador to the Coalition Council. During a council meeting, Nicole presented Earth's proposal for a new initiative called Adaptive Harmony. Each species in the Coalition evolved to survive in their own environment, she explained. Those differences once divided us, but now we understand they can unite us. Together, we can explore and settle parts of the galaxy that no single species could safely inhabit. The proposal outlined how mixed teams of humans and Coalition species could establish outposts in previously inaccessible regions. This would expand the Coalition's reach without giving any single species an advantage. Humans don't want to dominate, Nicole assured the Council. We want to contribute. Our biology allows us to help in ways others cannot, just as other species can do things we cannot. The Council approved the initiative with an overwhelming majority. Even former members of the containment faction voted in favor. Humanity's biological differences were now seen as an asset to galactic stability, not a threat. 1 year after first contact, a milestone event took place. The joint human coalition expedition vessel, Unity, prepared for its maiden voyage. The Yao ship would explore regions of space previously considered too hazardous for coalition exploration. Captain Julia Bennett stood on the bridge, looking at her mixed crew of humans and aliens working together at various stations. Julia had short brown hair and the calm confidence that came from years of command experience. "Captain, all systems ready," reported her first officer, a coalition member named Krell. Julia nodded and stepped to the ship's communication system. "This is Captain Bennett to all crew. Today we begin a journey that would have been impossible 1 year ago. Each of you is here because your biology, your skills, and your perspective are valuable. Together we will explore regions of space that no single species could safely visit alone." She paused, looking around at the diverse faces of her crew. When our different species first met, some feared our differences would divide us. Instead, they have united us. Where aliens see radiation, that would harm them, humans see a challenge we can help overcome. Where humans see environments too cold or airless for us, our coalition colleagues see opportunities to use their natural abilities. Julia smiled. That's what makes this mission special. Not just our different biologies, but our different perspectives. Where you see limitations, we see possibilities. And where we see barriers, you see opportunities. Together, there's nowhere in the galaxy we cannot go. With that, she gave the order to depart. The Unity moved away from the space station, its engines glowing as it accelerated toward unexplored space. On Earth, people gathered to watch the live broadcast of the historic launch. Among them were Dr. Alan Foster, Captain Samantha Wells, and the other humans who had been part of First Contact. They had begun this journey wondering if humans were alone in the universe. Now they knew they weren't alone, and that their supposedly ordinary human biology had turned out to be their greatest gift to the stars. As the Unity disappeared into the distance, Admiral Krell Zar stood beside Ambassador Gregory Patel. "Yorindai, people have come far in a short time," the Admiral said. Gregory nodded. "We've all come far together, and we have much further to go." "Indeed," agreed Krell Zar, "and I, for one, am grateful to have humans along for the journey."